The halls of Nevermore Academy are haunted by more than just mystery this season. They're crawling with new faces, and not just any faces. We're talking Oscar winners, comedy legends, pop icons. Tim Burton hasn't just raised the stakes in Wednesday Season 2. He's thrown in an entirely new roster of outcasts, oddballs, and outright scene stealers. Before we dive into the biggest and strangest additions to Wednesday Addams' world, hit subscribe so you don't miss our breakdowns of every twist, every cameo, and every creepy clue. Now, let's meet the new residents of Nevermore, and the trouble they're about to unleash. Joanna Lumley as Grandmama Hester Frump. We've met the Addams clan before, but never like this. Season 2 introduces us to Morticia's wealthy, intimidating mother, Grandmama Hester Frump, played by the legendary Dame Joanna Lumley. She's dripping in jewels, dripping in disdain, and more than a little terrifying. Her relationship with Morticia, let's just say it's tense, but with Wednesday, surprisingly warm. She sees herself in her sharp-tongued granddaughter, and she might just be the one family member Wednesday actually listens to. Maybe. Owen Painter as Slurp. Every Addams needs a pet, but Pugsley's new companion takes that idea to extremes. Meet Slurp, a reanimated corpse who is equal parts terrifying and oddly loyal. Played by Owen Painter, Slurp shuffles into the story with a stitched-up smile and a habit of unnerving everyone in the room. He's not exactly man's best friend, but for Pugsley, he's perfect. Noah B. Taylor as Bruno. Enid Sinclair's love life takes a twist when she meets Bruno, a fellow werewolf, played by Noah B. Taylor. Bruno isn't your typical Nevermore jock. He's rough around the edges, a little rebellious, and seems to understand Enid in a way no one else does. But romance in Tim Burton's world is never simple, and this new connection might put Enid right in the crosshairs of danger. Eevee Templeton as Agnes Demille. Agnes Demille might be the most excitable student Nevermore has ever seen, and she's obsessed with Wednesday. Played by Eevee Templeton, Agnes is a fangirl with fangs, metaphorically speaking, following Wednesday around like a dark, glitter-covered shadow. Whether she's a harmless admirer or a dangerous distraction remains to be seen. Luganda Nyawo as Sheriff Ritchie Santiago. Forget the old sheriff, Nevermore's got new law in town. Sheriff Ritchie Santiago, played by Luganda Nyawo, is fearless, sharp, and, unlike her predecessor, actually eager to work with Wednesday. She's ready to tear into the mysteries that have haunted Jericho for years. But working alongside Wednesday Addams? That's a challenge no police training can prepare you for. Steve Buscemi as Principal Dort. Yes, that's Steve Buscemi. The king of quirky crime dramas now rules Nevermore as its peppy, impossibly optimistic new principal. Principal Dort is all about outcast pride, school spirit, and keeping the peace. Which, in Wednesday's world, is basically impossible. He's the kind of authority figure who smiles through chaos, which might make him a hero or a liability. Christopher Lloyd as Professor Orloff. If you thought seeing Christopher Lloyd back in the Addams universe would mean a reprise of Uncle Fester, think again. This time, he's Professor Orloff, a disembodied head with a wicked sense of humor and a knack for getting into trouble. He's all mischief all the time, and he's especially fond of teaming up with Pugsley for pranks that toe the line between harmless fun and complete disaster. Billie Piper as Isadora Capri. When the head of music at Nevermore is played by Billie Piper, you know things are going to get loud. Isadora Capri is talented, ambitious, and a total control freak, which of course means she and Wednesday immediately clash. Still, there's an unspoken respect between the two perfectionists, even if they'd both rather die than admit it. Fandy Newton as Dr. Rachel Fairburn. Nevermore's mysteries have always had a dark psychological edge, and this season, we meet the woman determined to untangle them. Fandy Newton plays Dr. Rachel Fairburn, chief psychiatrist at Willow Hill Psychiatric Facility. She's in charge of treating Tyler, the murderous Hyde, making her both an ally and a potential target. She's not an outcast herself, but she's pioneering new methods in outcast mental health, which puts her right in the middle of the storm. Heather Matarazzo as Judy. Every brilliant doctor needs an assistant, but Judy is something else entirely. Played by Heather Matarazzo, Judy is relentlessly cheerful, fiercely loyal to Dr. Fairburn, and instantly hostile to Wednesday. She's the kind of person who will smile while blocking your every move, and Wednesday is not having it. And then there's the cameo we've all been waiting for. Lady Gaga as Professor Rosaline Rotwood. Lady Gaga storms into the world of Wednesday as Professor Rosaline Rotwood. We don't know everything about her yet, but we do know she's got a commanding presence, a wardrobe to die for, and a brand new song featured in the season. Whether she's a mentor, a menace, or something in between, expect her scenes to break the internet. What's brilliant about this season's casting is how perfectly each newcomer fits into Tim Burton's gothic sandbox, while still feeling fresh. Grandmama Hester Frump adds family tension and unexpected warmth. Slurp and Bruno bring chaos to Pugsley and Enid's worlds. Agnes Demille and Sheriff Santiago force Wednesday into relationships she didn't ask for, but might need. Principal Dort and Professor Orloff keep the school's heartbeat strange and unpredictable. Isadora Capri and Dr. Fairburn add layers of rivalry and psychological intrigue. Judy? She's the smiling roadblock Wednesday will either destroy or recruit. And Rosaline Rotwood? She's the wild card, the one who could flip the game entirely in the second half of the season. Tim Burton's Wednesday has always thrived on the balance between creepy and charismatic, between gothic horror and deadpan comedy. These new characters crank that balance up to 11. They're bizarre, they're flawed, they're unpredictable, and they force Wednesday into situations where even she might not have the upper hand. This isn't just a case of adding big names for the sake of it. Every one of these newcomers has a purpose, and more importantly, they have bite. If you want breakdowns of every twist, every clue, and every character dynamic as the rest of the season unfolds, make sure you're subscribed and ready for our next deep dive. Because in Season 2 of Wednesday, the monsters aren't the only thing you need to watch out for. Sometimes, it's the new arrivals you really have to fear.